Welcome to Easy Peasy Books, From Author to Authority, the lively and engaging podcast for business professionals who've always believed they have a book in them. I'm your host, Gillian Whitney. Join me as I chat with authors and industry experts from all around the world to explore simple strategies to write, publish, and leverage your business book. Whether you're an entrepreneur, executive, or an employee, this podcast is for you. Woohoo! And we're live once again on another Tuesday. Although, like the ticker tape says, this is actually a previously recorded live. And the reason why is, as this live is being aired, I will be sitting in a car driving across Texas. And if anybody is familiar with the great state of Texas, it's a big state, and it takes a long time to drive across. Internet can be patchy at times, so I decided it would just be better if I went ahead and recorded this from the comfort of my apartment here in Las Vegas before we head out. So let me tell you what we're talking about today. So I'm going to pull up my banner, and we are talking about Be a Book Launch Buddy, how to support authors. So let me give you the backstory of kind of why I even came up with this topic in the first place. So a lot of times people who are getting ready to launch their books feel a little reluctant to ask for help. They're almost embarrassed. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm launching this book and I feel it's so much about me. And now people are kind of saying, hey, I heard you're launching a book. What can I do to help? And most new authors, they have no clue what to do to help. They don't really know what help they need. And so a lot of people have asked me, so like, what do I tell people? What can I do? So that's one reason why I wanted to do this live and talk about some ideas of how we can ask other people to support us as we're launching a book. But I also really believe in sort of Jeff Young talks about tribe, that you have to give on LinkedIn before you receive, and that it is almost better to be a giver, a go-giver, so to speak. And so in my mind, if we actually become book launch buddies ourselves, before we even launch a book, maybe we haven't even written a book. We're just thinking about writing a book. Become a book launch buddy now and learn how you can support others so that when it's time for you to launch your book, number one, you'll know some of these ways by heart because you'll already have been doing them, but it will be much easier for you to ask people to help you when you have helped others. So I kind of think this topic's appropriate for so many people on so many levels. So anyways, Bitmoji is around here somewhere, and she promised she would come and help today. Here she is. And she likes to just she helps me put together like a little slideshow just to keep me on track. So I don't do a lot of text on the screen. I just like to make sure that I stay organized and I don't go reaming off course. And I always feel a little flustered doing these solo lives because I don't have the audience. I can't go to the comments, and I miss going to the comments. But I promise that I will respond to the comments after the live. So just know that I'm in. I'm all in. Okay, so be a book launch buddy, how to support authors. So let's get stuck in. So the first thing is ask people to purchase a copy of the book. And that's what you want to do for others. If you know somebody is writing a book and they're getting ready to launch a book, purchase a copy, unless it has nothing to do with you and you just go, no, this is absolutely not a book that would be good for me. But most of the time, I'm saying probably 99% of the time, the book is appropriate and you will get value from it as well. Now, I would caveat that if you're going to purchase a copy of somebody's book, that you do it on the right day at the right time. So you might be wondering, what does that mean, Gillian? Isn't it good to purchase a book at any particular time? Actually, no, that can actually hurt the author if they're trying to do something like qualify for an Amazon bestsellers rank. And what that means is that when you launch a book on Amazon, to get to the bestseller, to be number one in a category or even in the top 10 of a category, it's all about the number of sales within a given day on a certain time period. And with Amazon, doesn't matter where in the world you are, with Amazon, it always starts at 12:01 Pacific time in AM. So that's, 12 midnight, right? That's when the clock starts for the day. And then it ends at 11:59. And that to Amazon is what counts as a day. So what you want to do is if you're aiming to become a bestseller, you want to corral people into making their purchases on that particular day between those times. So if you have, you have colleagues that are in other parts of the world, you need to help them with the time zone so that they know, no, don't buy the book until, 6 p.m. for you or 8 p.m. or figure out what those times are because it's always going to go back to Pacific time because that's how Amazon works. So that is the first way to be a book launch body is purchase a copy of the book, whether that's going to be a Kindle copy, a paperback, hardback, audiobook, it can be any format. And then know that you want to make that purchase at the right day, at the right time. And just as a little bonus is that a lot of authors will do specials on their book launch day. And that might mean maybe their book is going to be 99 cents. Some people will even make it free. Could be $1.99. They always have different specials. Usually it's the Kindle book that's going to be on special. So if you want the paperback, you're going to have to pay full price. And that's because paperbacks cost money to print, to ship, and everything else. So there's not too much that the authors will do on book launch day with regards to the paperback. But the Kindle is a whole different story. So that is number one, purchase a copy right day and time. So once you've got a copy of the book, what else can we do? You can post a review. So the majority of times we encourage you to post that review on Amazon. That's just the number one place where you're going to see social proof for a book. But if for any reason you are not qualified to post a review on Amazon, then you might want to look and post somewhere else. So it doesn't mean Amazon or nothing. We can always think outside the box. You might say, well, Gillian, why would I not be qualified to post review? Well, there's all sorts of different things. So the biggest thing is you have to have spent $50 in buying Amazon products within the previous year. And I know I've been hit with that before where I was just using gift cards and doing all sorts of different things and that didn't qualify as actually making a purchase on Amazon for $50. And so I wasn't able to post any reviews for I think 2 years or something. And also too, we were doing all the Prime through my husband's account. So I wanted the reviews to be in my name, not him, because he hadn't read the book. So it was a bit crazy. But just know, if you can't post on Amazon, another great place to post a review is Goodreads. And I've had a few people post on Goodreads for me. So that's a good place. Also, too, if the book is sold on Barnes and Noble, you could post the review there. So, think outside the box. But primarily, we're talking about Amazon. So here is the thing with Amazon. You can post a text review, you can add a photograph, and you can also add a video. So that's kind of cool. And Amazon encourages you to do all three if you so choose. Now, the interesting thing, and this is just sort of my Gillian Ninja tip, is I encourage people to post a review, text post. Just a text. Don't add a picture. Don't add a video. Just make a text post and do it after you've purchased the book, because that way now you show up as a verified purchase and you get little red text that says verified purchase. It just gives more credibility to the reviews. And if you, by any chance, are an advanced reader and all you have is the PDF, you got a free PDF to read, you can still give a review. It just doesn't say verified purchase, but still a unverified purchase review is better than no review at all. So just know those are the level of reviews. So going back to a verified review, you've read you've read a portion of the book at least, so you have a sense of how the book is. If you can read the whole thing, that's even better. And now you want to post a review. And first of all, you're going to have to, do how many stars, and hopefully, an honest review, you'd give it as many stars as you really feel comfortable. But every author, if you could give them the top, that's always the best. Then you want to have a headline for your review. And then your review doesn't have to be too long. It can just literally be a paragraph or something. And you just want to give something so that people would feel, yes, this really helped give social proof. I understand now why this book would be for me. So, make it about the reader and how your review could help the reader. So the reason why I lead with just doing a text review, literally on the first day if I can, because nobody wants to be first. So as a book buddy, I'm going to raise my hand and say, I'll give the first review. I'm happy to. So I do a text review because Amazon will approve that quicker and will go ahead and push it and publish it up to that person's Amazon book page. And then what I do is maybe a day later, I'll add in a picture or a video. And you can edit a review at any time. And that's how you add in a photograph or a video. And then Amazon will just, add that to your existing review. So it's nice, as in the meantime, the text one is there. So otherwise, if you just do the text plus a video, it could be 2 weeks before Amazon reviews that. And, that's the time is ticking for that author. So that's why you want to post that with just text. So speaking of Amazon, another great way to be a book launch buddy is to post Kindle quotes. And what you can do is, if you've read the book and you have it, have a copy of the book on your iPad or your iPhone, Kindle. I don't even have a Kindle. I don't even know many people that have Kindles. So I'll just talk about if I have it on my iPad. So what I can do is I can go ahead and I can highlight a text passage. And usually, it comes out yellow or pink or whatever color I've set it to be in my iPad. And then if I tap on that highlighted text, then I kind of get like a little box open with all these different things of like, what do you want to do with this? And there's a box at the end that is just a regular box with a little up arrow. And if you tap on that, it creates a Kindle quote. And what it does is it takes that passage that you highlighted, it puts it into, and you have a choice of all these different Kindle quotes, but it does it automatically for you. So I have an example up on my screen right now, and it's a dark blue background. It's got the little Kindle, logo with the kid reading under the tree. It's got white text, and it's got the quote from the book. So I didn't have to type anything in, just selecting the text brought it into the Kindle quote. And now it even adds automatically the author's name and the title of the book. And then it gives hashtag Kindle quotes. And then you can just go ahead and you can email it to yourself. If you're a Mac user, you can airdrop it to yourself. And now you have this PNG image that you can use as a social media post. And I have done this for quite a few people. And it's so easy. It's so easy to help promote somebody's book by doing these Kindle quotes. So highly, highly recommend doing that. Another thing that you can do is share on social. And you can, of course, share your Kindle quotes on social. But another thing that you can do is you can share the author's original book announcement. So if you see someone on, say, for instance, LinkedIn, and we'll just stick with LinkedIn right now because that's where I like to play the most. If you see somebody writing a post about they're launching a book, help them. Be a helper. And this is one of the few times where I'll actually tell people, share it. Don't just repost it, share it and add your thoughts. And maybe it's just going to be, congratulations, I'm rooting for you, or I've already downloaded your book, or whatever you want to say to kind of tell that person you're cheering them on, you're cheering them on. And then don't forget to tag them in the post. And you tag people by doing that at mention sign, yeah, little A, with the circle, and then type in their name. And then that way they'll see that you're supporting them. And they're going to feel so, so happy that you've done that. So sharing on social with the author's book announcement, or maybe those Kindle quotes would be good too. Another thing that you can do is you can take a book selfie, and literally you plus the book equals a lot of love. And so here's an instance where I'm showing on screen a collage of all these different selfies that various people took for G when she was launching her book last summer. And I'm in the collage, and a bunch of other people are in the collage. And the interesting thing when you take a book selfie, do it somewhere interesting. It can be where you normally sit. That's what I did. I was kind of boring. But some people, they go hiking, and other people go to the store, and some people could be on the highway, and maybe they're beside, if I was really smart, I'd stop my car on the way to Texas and take a picture of like, your book is now entering the great state of Texas, something like that. Fun things, you reading them in a coffee shop, just your imagination is amazing. And if you don't want to be in the picture, that's okay. Put the book up with a bunch of stuffed animals, and that's good. Or I saw someone once, she did a law book, and somebody did at the law school, and they put the book in the law school. So many different ways that you can do it. And then once you take a book selfie, what do you do with it? Well, you can post it as a post on LinkedIn. You could now upload that selfie back into Kindle with your review. So now you've added a photograph to your review, or you could just send a copy of it to the author and let them have at it. So maybe they're going to put it in a collage like G did. G actually then went and made a video of all the different selfies. So she was really, really creative with her book launch videos. And some people just put all of it on their website, like on their book launch page, on their book page. Maybe they have a wall of memories, different things. Maybe they're going to share them on their other social media channels. So I'm not on Instagram, but maybe G took my post and she shared it on Instagram. So many different ways you can go ahead and use that book selfie. But that's a great one. And please don't think you need to have the paperback edition or hardback edition in order to do this. You can hold up your Kindle. I have done it many times. I've held up the cover, I've held up my Kindle, and I've still taken my picture. So yes, you can even do a digital of a digital. Sounds so meta, but it's so true. Okay, another thing that we can do is we can make a video, and I highly suggest keeping these videos short and sweet, kind of work within that 2 minutes to 90 seconds. People don't want to spend too much time watching a video. And I find for the most part, I like doing that 16:9, which is the horizontal landscape videos. I just think they look a little bit better on Amazon, and they seem to go well with reviews. Sometimes the vertical videos kind of get lost. So that because they're still putting them in the 16:9 frame. So they look a little odd, so to speak. But anyways, any video will do. So anybody who's ever done a video for me, I don't care what format it's in, I'm happy that you've done video. And I have done videos for other people. And so literally, maybe you just think about that person and you turn on the camera and, maybe have one or two points that you want to say. It doesn't have to be in depth. And then I kind of like to do my videos that are similar to what I talked about in the text. So I don't actually read it word for word because that's not how I do videos anyways, but I will usually use the same ideas so that my video and my text review go together. But that's an amazing thing to do. And then do let the author know, because authors don't get a notification from Amazon that, hey, this person posted a video for you. So go let the author know, because that's a lot of work. And that the author will probably ask you for a copy of the clip, because they're probably going to use it for other stuff. So making a video is amazing. That's a great way to support people. The next thing is to attend the book launch. And a lot of people have virtual book launches. They do LinkedIn Live book launches. I've done a ton for myself, for other people. And that is a great way to have some energy and excitement on your book launch day. And so if you see that somebody is having a book launch and they're one of your colleagues, first of all, hit the attend button, because then other people will know that you're going. So that's good. So you want to hit the attend button. You also want to put in a comment, because it helps with the LinkedIn algorithm. If you feel inclined, you could share it to your own personal profile, or you could repost it if you feel inclined. And if you don't catch it live, go to the replay, watch the replay, and, type in after the comments of the replay, because with lives, it's actually sometimes they get more visibility after the live is over. So don't think, oh, I missed the live event. No, 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 no. We welcome you to the replay. So go ahead and engage with that too. And it is just a wonderful, wonderful way to support someone. And there's usually something in it for you, because most, not all, but most authors on their book launch day, they like to give back. They're feeling very generous and magnanimous. So maybe they're going to have like one free book that they'll do a drawing, and your name might get entered in for a free book. Or maybe they're going to make the book 99 cents on launch day. Maybe they're going to make the book free on launch day. So there's usually something that you can get, by showing up at a book launch. But even if you just show up to cheer that person on, that's enough of a gift to know that you've done something really, really good. Now, you might also have the opportunity to attend a book launch in real life. And if you can do that, that is amazing. And I recently had Ashley Leeds on my show, and he was talking about launching his book. And he did an actual in real life book launch, and they were playing. It was a party. And, he was playing the guitar. He had friends come from all over the UK. I think they came from outside of the UK. It was a gigantic party. They had a fabulous event, and, probably had snacks and all sorts of good stuff. But Ashley said that this actually planning the book launch helped him finish his book, because he booked the venue. So he said, I couldn't show up at my book launch party without a book. So it kind of like lit a fire under him to get going. And there you go. He had his book launch. So if you have the opportunity to attend a book launch in real life, absolutely go for it. That's a great thing. Another thing we can do is suggest podcasts to the author from ones that we're aware of, because we all kind of walk around with our own little bubble of like, oh, I know this live show, and I know this podcast, and I know all these different things. But maybe the person who's launching their book, they're not familiar with that. They didn't know about it. So here's an example where my good friend, Tina Jarvitt, she had heard that I was on Book Chat Live with Tim Lewis, who was recently on my show. And I had told her how it was such a wonderful experience. And then I introduced the two of them, because I knew that Tina was a great reader and she would be a fabulous guest for Tim. And I think he will agree. And as a result, Tina not only got to talk about all these books that she loved, Tim gave her the opportunity to talk about a few of her own books. So that was brilliant. And she actually talked about the book we co-authored together. So that even kind of came back and helped me. And to be honest with you, I think she also talked about one of my video book in your job search, use video in your job search. So again, here I was trying to be a connector for Tina and do something nice for Tina, and it came back and it helped me. So that to me is how wonderful it is when we help others, we help ourselves. The next thing that you can do is you can put in a library request. And this is maybe not necessarily something you would do the first day that maybe a book is launching, but It doesn't matter. You check with your library because sometimes people go wide with their books. Sometimes people are Amazon only, and some libraries will buy from Amazon and some libraries won't. So it's kind of hit or miss. But definitely, if you know that that person has gone wide with digital books are much easier for authors to get into libraries than paperbacks or hardbacks. And if you know that they went through draft to digital, that's going to put books out to like Hoopla and Overdrive, and these are the book streaming services that libraries use. So if you go to your library and you say, "Hey, I'd like to request a book," they'll either have some sort of online form or a paper form that you can fill out. And again, this is a wonderful way because you can get your book up to these streaming services, but if nobody requests your book at a library, it's crickets. Nothing happens. So you actually putting in the library request gets the ball rolling for people. So that's really important. So just go to your local library and know that this will not cost you a cent. So a wonderful way to help people. So I just want to close up by saying that I saw this the other day and it so resonated for me. And I kind of thought it had something to do, it really connected with what the topic is today, which is be a book launch buddy, how to support authors. And I saw this and it said, be the good that someone else needs. And then it said, when it feels like nothing good is happening to you, remember that you just might be the good thing that is supposed to happen to someone else. And when I read that, that so resonated with me that it's often that when we kind of stop worrying about ourselves and get out of our own head in our own world about what we're doing, and we shine the light on other people, those other people, they need it. And maybe things are just not happening for you right now because you need to be giving back. And I love Zig Ziglar, who believes that the route to success is helping people get to where they want to go in life, is how you get to where you want to go in life. So just being that positive force that helps other people, that means so much. And I know so many authors, they work so hard to put their books out there, but they're reluctant about asking for help beyond saying, buy my book on the launch day. And now here, you know, a bunch of ways that you can support other authors. And then in turn, if you ever have anybody that comes to you and says, how can I support you in your book launch? Direct them to this live and let them listen to the podcast. And then they'll see how they too can be a force to help other people. So I hope you have found this helpful today. And with that, I will say adieu as I continue to drive across Texas. I'll be back here next week with another LinkedIn Live. It will be live, truly live with a guest. And I'm excited about my next show. And we'll be in another month. We'll be in May. So time is just ticking, ticking, ticking. So anyways, we'll see you all next time. And thank you again for tuning in today and listening. And I hope I have created some value for you. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Easy Peasy Books, From Author to Authority. If you found value in today's episode, I'd be grateful if you could leave us a review. It helps other aspiring authors discover our podcast. To learn more about writing, publishing, and leveraging your business book, visit my website at easypeasybooks.com.